What's up, ladies and gents? Senator Trent, your host, and welcome back to preseason week 2 for our Browns franchise. First game, we competed against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we were able to win in real life as well as in the game. So we're going to be moving on now to the second preseason week, which is where we're going to be facing off against New York. New York recently just lost to us in the preseason week 2. I felt that we did pretty well overall, but still a lot of our defense needs to definitely come together a little bit more. But really happy and excited to see what the offense is doing in real life, so hopefully they can keep that up. But let's go ahead and advance the week. There's still not really any points stuff that we have right now, so we're going to have to manage and keep on to the next week, which is versus the Giants. All right, so during this week, what we're going to be doing is first checking off our strategy, see how we want to play this. Obviously it's so weird because, you know, when you play this game and you see who starts and how the computer thinks everything's going to happen, it's just not how it is in real life. Kevin Stefanski is one of those coaches that thinks that, you know, mainly the fact that we got so much good practice in when we were actually going up against the Giants during the week, because we were practicing against them during the week as well. And then we also did the preseason week 2 game with them, so therefore we didn't really start almost any of our starters, which that doesn't really happen here. Your main starters will always play in the first quarter if you just let simulation run normal. Otherwise you can say, hey, I'm not going to start this, not going to start this. You can do it manually if you want, but the computer just doesn't understand. And obviously, you know, I don't think it would understand that that's how this coach is, but I would hope that maybe one day they would be able to put some type of computer learning in based off of what coaches have done in the past and really give, I don't know, more breath into the game so you really feel like the coach is like the coach in real life. You know what I mean? So that being said, let's just go ahead and get into our offensive game plan. Honestly, out there, I didn't really see anyone in the Giants that had really a good pass or a good run. He's definitely not a quarterback scrambler. So I'm trying to think what would be the best option. The game says defend the outside run would be the best option. So we'll just stick with what that says, and we'll go from there. So then we'll move on here to offensive game plan. For them, let's see. Run inside, you know, running on our defensive, or should I say running for us, is obviously a top priority in the main season. However, with the secondary that we have, you know, teams 2 and 3, our backups, you know, they need some run. We need to get them up to date. We need to, because we already know we got a beast wide receiver group, and we already know we got a starter heavy running group, but we need to get our, you know, Felton, we need to get Kelly, we need to get, you know, Johnson. Those guys need to get a little bit more maybe running reps. So my plan is to, we'll stick with the run on the inside. And I think overall my plan this week is going to be a lot more running. See, I wouldn't say 5 runs. That's too much. Let's just do, I don't want to say 200 yards rushing either, because I've never found luck when it comes to rushing, but we're going to go ahead and pick that just because it keeps up with my goal is to try to improve our runners a little bit, especially our backups. So I think that's what we'll pick for the plan as of right now, at least. And we can start the training. So these are a few players that you can pick from. Obviously, the reason that I pick some of these guys is because they're going to be good for us in the future, especially Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Greg Newsome is probably going to be getting the start this year in real life just because Williams is having a lot of hamstring and groin injuries right now. So it's going to be funny to see how that goes. He's probably not going to get a lot of playing time, so maybe we can switch him out with someone that I feel is going to, but I want to keep it defense-wise because I really feel that we need a lot. We need to help ourselves out here. So why don't we get, let's say, Troy Hill, right? He's going to be our starter at cornerback. Him and Johnson are our newest acquisitions from the Rams. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to accomplish coming up very, very soon. So I think that's good, and let's keep it going. Again, it's very sad that you can't actually go in and do the practicing unless you pick player instead of a coach. But I don't know. That's the way they chose it this year. So training is now complete. Let's. We still only got 9 points. I know it says upgrades are available, so I will go into it. I'll let you take a look at it. But there's not really much we can do at this point. We got Kareem Hunt, Jacob Phillips. Obviously, he's injured, so he's not coming back. I mean, he's pretty much he's out for the season. He's got to have surgery. And it's, you know what? I don't know what. We're just going to upgrade, except, okay, I'll tell you what. We're going to make sure at least our two main guys here we're going to do those ourselves. So let's make him, I always try to go for the scheme, right? The scheme fit is what I feel is the best option. So then we're going to go for Teller. We're going to get him agile, power. We'll give him power. But you know what? Pass protection would be really good. Yeah, let's give him pass protection. So this one necessarily won't get us an overall. If we pick the other one, our overall would have actually increased. But yeah, I think it's better for us to give him some good, better pass protection. Now these two, we're going to go ahead and upgrade on regular because they really don't matter. And for the first time, we'll let you check out the manage staff option. Now we need to set our goals. So let's set the gameplay goals, of course, first. Let's say win a turnover battle, okay? Offensive coordinator is no conversions on fourth. I always prefer that. And let's say we get 3 rushing touchdowns. Let's try to go for 3 rushing touchdowns. Even though I also said let's get 2, passing touchdowns, which seems like a lot. But I want to at least try a few different things here, so... Now, as you can see, you've got talent trees from your head coach, offensive coordinator. I wish that these were real, that they had the licensing to get the real names of these people, but unfortunately, they do not. Let's start viewing some of the talent trees.
Staff points can be used across all of your staff characters. To access talents down a tree, you must purchase at least 1 tier of the talents above them. When you have enough staff points, you can begin purchasing talents or special skills that will improve your team on or off the field. To see what effect each talent has, highlight it on the talent tree. The panel, some talent trees make you select a path to follow to build your character.
All right, so all that seems pretty simple enough. You're going to go in a specific direction. Once you go in one direction, then you're going to start to see that things are locked. Notice how we can't go in this direction anymore because the game has already chosen this for us. So we can continue down this path, but we no longer have access to this path. Same thing for that option as well. But we don't have enough points to get, pretty much anything right now. So as you can see, there's really not... It does say we can do an upgrade, but nothing from the coach, head coach, is going to be upgradable. But we'll go in there. You can see, there we go. So we have a few points that we can actually get here with our offensive coordinator. You can boost implant blocking for the fullbacks, which I don't really think that that's, something we need to worry about right now. Let's see, you can also do catch and traffic for wide receivers. I think that would be actually a good one. Yeah, let's do that one. There we go. We did our first upgrade. There's nothing else we can really do, but you can just kind of get a glimpse, which we're going to get into this a lot more as we go along through the season. But like I said, in preseason, let's be honest, all of it doesn't really matter too much. And of course, you have the option to fire the coaches as well, which means the coaches really have no impact on anything. It's just the things that you pick for them. Yeah, so that's still going to say red because we still have a point, even though we can't really spend it. But with that being said, we've done what we wanted to do. So let's go ahead and play this preseason game. Now, I'm not sure if the rosters will update via real time. We just lost a few more players, obviously, as we've narrowed down to 80 players now. And then after this week's game, the third preseason game, then we have to narrow it down to 53. I don't know if they're going to go off of real players or our own. We are online, so hopefully they do that, so that way I won't have to actually go in and say, well, this person's not on the team, so we need to take them off. But yeah, let's go ahead and get in here and play the preseason game. And of course, just like always, I always prefer to play offense, but I might do a drive on defense, maybe just to start out. So why don't we do a full game just for now, and then I might switch it up in a little bit. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'm pretty much going to be quiet, just let the kind of gameplay play out, because I just really want the gameplay to shine, and you know, I want to try to focus, and I don't like to do commentary over top of this because commentators are doing their stuff, and I really want you to try to get you immersed as much as possible, even though this is not a very good game.
It's week 2 of the NFL preseason, where depth charts and playbooks will be put to the test. It's the Giants and the Browns, and it's coming up next.
We are in the so-called rock and roll capital of the world, Cleveland, Ohio, at First Energy Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. This was the scene a few minutes ago, the dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the New York Giants. Brandon Gaud and Charles Davis, happy to be back alongside you. And I'll tell you what, yes, it's just week 2 of the preseason, but now they've got one game under their belts. And a lot of guys trying to prove some stuff down on the field here today.
Not only that, these coaches like to win. And I used to think it really didn't matter who won in the preseason. Then I watched some of those shows that the NFL does, and you see the coaches in preseason after a loss jumping all over their guys. So I learned one valuable lesson. Wins and losses count no matter what time of year it is.
The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. The Giants ready to go to work on offense, and leading them out, their third-year quarterback from Duke, Daniel Jones.
I still remember when he was drafted, there was a little bit of controversy about how high he was selected by the New York Giants, but his talents were revealed. He can make every throw in the book. Surprisingly good athlete. As long as he takes care of the football, doesn't turn it over, he can really make plays.
Throwing, Jones. Completes it to Evan Ingram. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 46. Now Jones. Catch made by Slayton. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 16 more on that one and another first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Jones. Jones hit in the ball zone. And this is picked up by the Browns. The 40, 30, 10, 5, and he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for a Browns TD. It gives some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for him.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Cody Parkey is on now for the point after. It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So this offense will head back out there, already in excellent field position thanks to the interception. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Kareem Hunt, an 18-yard touchdown run. And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early, give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. Drive about to get started. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. They'll start with Hunt on the ground. Spinning away. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30.
I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he's going to have a Browns first down as the tackle made at about the 38. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy's setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Now after the run by Hunt, here's 1st and 10. They go play action. Mayfield. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one goes for 24 yards.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So the ball moves from 138 to the other as they come up on 1st and 10. Mayfield gives this one to Hunt. 45 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Well, they're making an effort to get offense working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, not get loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
From the red zone now, Mayfield. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. From the 5, here's 2nd and 2. Here's a carry for the fullback. This is Andy Janovich. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
And not a lot of flash and dash on that play. 2nd and 2, and they hand it to the big man. And he ends up picking up a first down. A little bit of gray area there, though. But I think what they thought, hey, we hand it to him here. If we come back and don't get it, we still got another down to try and pick it up.
They'll try to run with Hunt. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Kareem Hunt with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter. He's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here. And I think if the play caller wasn't getting his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
Tay Crowder able to make the play.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. Back near his goal line, here's Mayfield. Quickly into the hands of Beckham. And he's going to get this up to the 24-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
First down, Mayfield. And he completes it to Hunt. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. A give right side now to Hunt. And he's got some space here. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 80 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack. And guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Throwing, Mayfield. He completes it to Beckham. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you've already put your job on the line,
the Browns drive about to get started. And the ledger. To begin the drive, here's a handoff to Hunt. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Good job, D. That's right.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
no doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy. We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Mayfield leaves it for Hunt on the draw. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. The speedster Dante Pettis back deep to return. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
The drive starts with Devontae Booker. And he'll get him a little space here up to the 5-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. Looking to throw. Jones in trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And what else could go wrong at this point? This is going to be a defensive touchdown as they keep piling it on. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Now Parkey for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. New York's offense back out there and set to go.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
Jones throwing on first down. It's hauled in by Shepard. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Operating from the gun, Jones throwing deep for Galladay. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Troy Hill picks it, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I guarantee you, it's not very good.
Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. No gain on the screen there at 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. The 2nd down play not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in just a minute. Week 2 of the preseason is upon us. Each team now with just 1 more game after this one, and then we will get it all started as we normally do on the first Thursday after Labor Day. Meanwhile, for the Browns, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. These 2 coaching staffs are likely using this game as their dress rehearsal for the regular season. So some final adjustments being made. And for the call of the second half, we send it back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Expect to see a good number of backups going forward as we are back and underway here in preseason week 2. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes the return. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And we get a glance here, Charles, at his 2 touchdown runs.
And, partner, have you ever noticed that when someone scores a second time, they have a little bit of extra pep in their step? It's always, they're always fired up to score. But when you get in twice,
and they start the second half with Johnson. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The first throw now for the backup, Keenum. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good, soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another first down.
Keenum now on first down. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead, because they're leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now Johnson trucks over it, and this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll run here with John Kelly. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. From the red zone, it's Keenum. That's complete to Peoples-Jones. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. On second down now, it's Johnson. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that. And that really chips away at your confidence.
Ninth play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. Here's Keenum to throw. Being chased out left. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
Now that's disappointing for the defense. They had the advantage, had excellent coverage all over the field, but they let him get away, scramble, and pick up a first down, and inside the 5-yard line.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Dearness Johnson taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Browns take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. But just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And Charles, in a very one-sided affair, I think we reached the point in the broadcast where you and I, we may have some filling to do, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that, because we got to try and keep people around. We don't want them to change the channel. Stay with us in this game. Is that Ben Ramsey? Are you hearing from Ben on the headset here? Tell us, stretch this thing out a little bit.
Get some talking points. Dig them all out.
That's what you get. A big-time producer. Keep them here. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The Browns on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Keenum. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got a bump down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Well, partner, nothing but praise from me for this offense. They have been tremendous all night long. They knew what they had to do to unlock the defense. And let's face it, this has been a master class in offensive football that we've been here to witness.
They'll run on first down. Felton. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
On 2nd down, it's Kelly. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
On first down, Felton dancing away at the 35 and to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. First down, 4th quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back, but 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. On 2nd down now, it's Kelly. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
They'll run on first down. Felton. Credit the tackle to Isaac Yiadom.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Second and 6. No, not running. Keenum wants to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Definitely the last thing you want to see here in a preseason game. We'll be right back. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. Powers through. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1-yard line. 42 yards on the ground for him so far.
Well, lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
2nd down and goal. Keenum. Oh, Keenum has it knocked away. It's loose. And who's got it? The Giants.
You know, this is the regular season part where we've been talking about just how costly a mistake that was, but probably good for him to get it out of his system right now.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
All in all, pretty good, decent game. There was a few points I wish I could take back, like that last play there. Just try to get in a touchdown at the very end, like a passing touchdown. I think we only got one passing touchdown, but we got quite a bit of rushing touchdowns. It definitely went a lot better than I originally thought it was going to go. Everything just kind of seemed to flow our way that game. So I got to say, I was pretty happy with how that game ended up. Let's take a look at our team stats. And player stats, should I say. So Baker Mayfield, he killed it with a rating of 158.3, 7 of 7, 1 touchdown. And of course, Kareem Hunt, 11 rushes for 80 yards. I mean, if he would have played the whole game, that was all in just the first quarter. So he could have done a lot. I also got to really experience just how fast Demetric Felton is. At least in this game, I felt like I could pretty much run the outside on all of these defenders. I just need to get better at what button to press when I'm trying to break tackles, because you get sucked into these animations, and I hate that, because you'll see me that it look like my character will start to try to spin, but instead of spinning, he gets sucked into whatever animation that the game wants it to do, and it just stops his spin mid-spin. It's so weird. It's so unrealistic, and it just takes you out of the immersion of the game for sure. But that was an amazing game that we played. Very happy with the results. Definitely wasn't like the the actual game, the real life game, as it was a lot closer. But you could definitely say that we killed it for sure. We did get the turnover battle. We got 3 rushing touchdowns, no conversions on 4th, and we've scored 32 touchdowns in our total time. Javion Patterson looks like he's got some upgrades to do, so why don't we go ahead and give him some agile. See how there's no sound effects there? Sometimes the game just doesn't work. But there you go, ladies and gents. Now we got 13 staff points to get things started for next week. As you can see, we did get an injury. We can look at the injury report. Luckily, it was from someone that it wasn't too bad. Now, as you can see, Chubb has been out for a little bit. Obviously, his hip, I think it was in the first game or whatever. But he should be coming back. As you can see, it's only 1 more week and he'll be able to return. So luckily enough, we're going to get our star running back. But as you can see, we can handle everything we need to with Kareem Hunt. So, and Nick Harris, he's a 66 overall, dislocated ankle, out for 5 weeks. So, you know, be that as it may, if we take a look at his card here, you can see that he's got 1 year experience. So will he prove to be something? Will they put him on the injured reserve, or will they just kind of cut him altogether? I am not sure, but it'll be interesting to find out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week. And of course, we're going to have 1 video every single week, which goes over the entire season. So we're stretching this out instead of me doing just a season like within a week or two or whatever, as I want to kind of play this game as we go by with the main week. It kind of allows me to come back to the game every single week and see what they've improved on, especially when it gets towards the end of the season, and hopefully the game will be significantly better. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you all. Please take care of yourselves. And of course, I will see you on the next one. Peace out.